Florian Wirtz.
Push for Florian Wirtz. And Wirtz, oh my goodness!
Ugo Ekitike.
Support two, it's Ekitike. And the shot!
Alexander Isak.
Great for Longstaff, what a moment for Isak!
Mate, I've been watching football for 20 years and I've never seen anything quite like this. Liverpool just spent over £300 million rebuilding their entire front line. And honestly, it's giving me goosebumps just thinking about what this could look like. If you're a Premier League defender watching this right now, I genuinely feel sorry for you. I'm absolutely buzzing to talk about this topic today, because honestly, what Liverpool have done in the transfer market is mental. We're talking about a complete overhaul of their attack. Florian Wirtz for over 100 million, Ugo Ekitike, and then they went and smashed their own record with Alexander Isak. But here's the thing, it's not just about the money, it's about how these pieces fit together. And when I started digging into the tactics, the stats, and what we've already seen in early matches, I realized we might be witnessing the birth of something special, something that could dominate not just the Premier League, but Europe as a whole. Right, let's be honest about where Liverpool were before this summer. Don't get me wrong, they had quality. Salah was still banging in goals like it was 2018, but the guy was basically carrying the entire attack on his shoulders. And that's not really sustainable when you're trying to compete on four fronts. Darwin Núñez? Look, the lad has talent, but consistency was always an issue. One week he'd look like the next big thing, the next you'd wonder if he'd forgotten how to kick a ball. Luis Diaz had his moments, sure, but he wasn't that reliable goal threat you need from a winger at this level. The midfield creativity was patchy too. There were games where Salah would drop deep just to get on the ball because nobody behind him could thread a pass through a parked bus. And when your main creative outlet is also your main goal threat, you've got a problem. Injuries exposed how thin they really were. One or two players out, and suddenly they looked toothless. Klopp knew it, the fans knew it, and clearly Arne Slot knew it too. Which brings us to this summer madness. Let's start with the crown jewel, Florian Wirtz, £116 million. I know, that's mental money, but hear me out, this kid is different. At Bayer Leverkusen, he was pulling the strings in ways that remind you of prime Kevin De Bruyne. We're talking about a player who can pick out passes that don't even exist until he plays them. Wirtz isn't just about the pretty through balls either, he's got plenty of those. His spatial awareness is off the charts. He finds pockets of space that defenders don't even know existed. And now imagine him behind Liverpool's new front line. Terrifying, right? Then there's Ugo Ekitike. 79 million sounds steep until you look at what he did in the Bundesliga. 22 goals and 12 assists in 48 games. That's not just good, that's elite level output. But what I love about Ekitike is his versatility. He's not your traditional target man, but he's not just a speed merchant either. He can press from the front, he can drop deep to link play, and crucially, he can finish with both feet. The pressing is huge for Liverpool's system. Under Klopp and now under Slot, the front line has to work like dogs when they don't have the ball. Ekitike gets that. He's got the engine to run for 90 minutes, but he's also got the football brain to know when to press and when to hold his position. Now, Alexander Isak. This is where it gets really interesting. £125 million for a striker who scores goals for fun. We're talking about a player who was banging them in for Newcastle in a much more defensive system. Imagine what he can do with proper service. Isak brings something Liverpool hasn't seen in years, a proper aerial threat. The guy's 6'4", he's strong, but he's also got that striker's instinct in the box. Those cutbacks from Robertson and Trent, they're suddenly 10 times more dangerous when you've got Isak attacking the near post. But here's the clever bit, he's not just a target man, his movement is intelligent, his finishing is clinical, and he can drop deep to bring others into play. Slot's got options now that he's never had before, and Mo Salah, the Egyptian king, is still here, still scoring, still creating. People forget that he's been doing this at the highest level for 7 years now. His experience and his composure in big moments, that's invaluable when you're integrating new players. Plus, having Salah on the right means defenders can never fully focus on the new boys. They've got to respect his runs, his shooting from wide positions. This is where it gets really juicy from a tactical perspective. Slot's got so many ways to set this team up. It's like having a Swiss Army knife of formations. The basic 4-3-3 looks tasty. Isak through the middle, Salah on the right doing his thing, and then you can rotate Ekitike and others on the left. But with Wirtz dropping between the lines, you're basically playing with 2 number 10s at times. Try defending against that. But here's where it gets mental. They can switch up to a 4-2-3-1 mid-game. Isak stays up top, Wirtz slides into that number 10 role, and suddenly you've got Ekitike and Salah running at tired defenders from wide positions. The amount of pace and creativity in those transitions is frightening. But what about when they need to break down a low block? Slot can go 4-4-2, Isak and Ekitike up front, Wirtz and someone like McAllister in the middle, Salah and maybe Gapco wide. Cross it into the box all day long. You've got 2 proper headers on the ball, looking to get on the end of things. The movement patterns, they're what excite me most though. Isak's making these runs across the back line, Ekitike's dropping short to link play. Wirtz, he's finding space between the lines, and Salah's still making those diagonal runs from the right. How do you even begin to mark that as a defense? And the fullbacks, Robertson and Trent, they're suddenly even more dangerous. When you've got Isak attacking the near post and Ekitike at the back post, those cutbacks become lethal. Defenders can't leave the box to press the fullbacks without leaving someone unmarked. But it's not all sunshine and rainbows. This system only works if everyone's fit and firing. One injury to a key player, and suddenly you're asking someone to play out of position. Plus, with all this attacking talent, you need the midfield to do a lot of defensive work. That's pressure on players like McAllister and Sloboslai. Right, so what have we actually seen on the pitch? The Atletico Madrid game was a proper indicator, 3-2 to Liverpool, but it could have been 6 on another day. Isak's debut was rusty. He'd missed pre-season after all, but you could see the potential. His movement in the box, the way he attacked crosses, the way he held the ball up. Once he gets match fit, he's going to be unplayable. Salah opened the scoring in that game, by the way. Still got it, hasn't he? But what was interesting was how much space Isak's presence created for others. Atletico had to put 2 players on him at all times, which meant more room for Wirtz to operate. Ekitike came on for the last half hour and immediately looked lively. His pace off the bench, his willingness to run at tired defenders, that's going to be massive this season. Having that quality coming off the bench changes games. The stats from their opening Premier League matches are bonkers too. They're averaging over 2.5 goals per game. Their expected goals numbers are through the roof, and they're creating chances from everywhere. It's not just one player carrying the load anymore, the goals and assists are being shared around. Wirtz already has 3 assists in his first 4 league games, 3, and he's still getting used to the pace of English football. Once he settles in properly, those numbers are only going up. Put yourself in the shoes of a Premier League manager right now. How do you even prepare for this Liverpool team? Do you double up on Salah like you used to? Well, now you've got Wirtz with time and space to pick passes. Do you press high to stop the service? Good luck catching Ekitike and Isak on the break. The big games are going to be fascinating when Liverpool face City, Arsenal, Chelsea, teams with quality defenders who can usually handle 1 or 2 threats. Suddenly, they're dealing with 4 or 5 players who can hurt them. That's not sustainable for 90 minutes. Champions League nights at Anfield are going to be special. We've already seen what they can do against Atletico, and that was with half the team still getting up to speed. Once this attack clicks properly, they could score goals against anyone. I'm predicting Liverpool will average close to 3 goals per game in the league this season. That might sound mad, but let's look at the quality they've got. If City can score that many with Haaland, why can't Liverpool do it with this group? The records are there to be broken too. Team goal tallies, individual assist numbers, goals in Europe. This team has the potential to rewrite the history books. Look, I have covered football for years and I've seen plenty of expensive signings flop, but this feels different. Liverpool haven't just bought players, they've bought a system. Wirtz gives them the creativity they were missing, Ekitike gives them pace and work rate, Isak gives them presence and clinical finishing, and Salah ties it all together with his experience and quality. if, and it's a big if, they stay fit and gel quickly, this could be one of the most devastating attacks European football has seen in years. The early signs are promising, but we'll know more after they've played City, after they've been to the Emirates, after they've faced PSG in the Champions League. What I will say is this: if you're a Liverpool fan, get excited. If you're a defender in the Premier League, get worried. Because this new Liverpool attack isn't just good, it's absolutely terrifying. Right, what did you think of that breakdown? If you enjoyed it, smash that like button. It genuinely helps the channel grow. And if you haven't subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? We're covering all the biggest stories in football. Drop me a comment below. Who do you think will have the biggest impact this season? Wirtz with his creativity, Isak with his goals, or will Salah still be the main man? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Cheers for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.